have questions about what's about to happen to the US dollar, we can talk about that too. But otherwise, I'm just going to focus in and help you get your content strategy together so you can build this engine and go ahead and get you some cash flow and get out the way. Because otherwise, it's not looking good out here. But first, you know what we got to do. So let me get into it. Bring it in the Zoom. Bring it in the Zoom. Okay. Well, good morning, good evening. What to do? How are you? Hootie hoo. Happy Thursday, too. I am the sound of money in your ear. Avant. That's D-O-double-L. I'm often imitated, never duplicated. They call me the $1 billion babe, aka the pitch queen, aka the people's coach, aka Coach Dollar Bill. And you are in the dollhouse. This is the home of high value entrepreneurs. Over here, we're doing what we got to do to get off the financial grid. I am excited to just do what we do today as a double header. You know what I'm saying? So I got my energy together and we're just going to turn up. We're going to do it twice today. I want to get into, I know people keep asking me questions, and then the people who ask me the questions don't be on when I'm trying to be available to questions. And then they come on later and want to ask me 17,000 questions about the economy and all this stuff, which is a totally different topic. It's not, but that's what gives us the urgency to go ahead and build our business and get out the way, which is not the same as just kind of, well, this would be a great idea. Like, no. Like this is important. We got to learn this skill to protect you and your family. The world is now splitting into a K-shaped economy. K-shaped economy. And you're either going to be going on the upward trajectory or it's going to be bad. So I know nobody's had a chance to listen to the WhatsApp yet because I just dropped it. And I just want you to understand that if the dollar crashes, what that means is it loses all of its purchasing power. And the stories that I told on there really kind of make that real and kind of bring it home, like what that would feel like in real life. Because we use words like inflation and, all of these words that don't mean anything. So take a listen to that when you have a chance, and let us do what we need to do to not have to suffer through that, because it's not looking good out here. Did you see the robot? Did you see they're introducing robots now? They're going to replace all teachers with robots. Melania Trump did that. Just walking through the White House with a robot, because that's what's next. Yay, question mark. There are 45 countries represented there. That's their plan for the children. Yeah, it's a lot going on. So let us talk about what we need to talk about today. Because, yeah, that took a lot out of me. They're crashing the US dollar, but it's fine. It's fine. We're fine. Got robots. Like, they had a name for it. They called it something. I forgot what they called it. They're basically like, yeah, this is a great idea. We're just going to let the robot train the children. We don't need teachers. Okay. All right. She talks like a robot, so maybe that's why she's cool with that. Okay. When you are writing your newsletter, your content, things that we do, many times we just inadvertently, we're writing for ourselves. It's not like we intend to. That's just how we kind of frame it typically. Let's say you sit down and write a newsletter, a post or something, or an email or a script for your next piece of content. What you want to talk about in your content. You do it as if you're writing for yourself. You're like, what do I want to say? What am I thinking about this week? What have I been chewing on? What have I been researching and processing? What feels relevant to me right now in the moment or whatever. And I don't know, somebody probably told you to do that. I don't know. That's fine. And you can make some good content out of that. And that's cool. Excuse me. But it could be genuine and thoughtful. It could be well written, well crafted. They might read it. They might like it. They might say it was great. That's not what we're doing here. That's not what this is. This is not just, I just want to express myself in a blog. And I just want to, get out there and put my thoughts out into the world because, that's what I want to do with myself. That's not what we're doing. I'm teaching you how to build an engine so you can generate cash flow, so you could buy some assets, leverage those assets, and move out of the way as they crash the US dollar. I made my case today. I've never, actually, nobody ever asked me that. Why you keep saying it's the end of America as we know it? That's a very dramatic statement. Literally nobody in the dollhouse specifically asked me, why you keep saying that? Y'all did sort of, but not exactly. Well, today I explained it in the WhatsApp. So there's that. I'm sure we're going to talk about it later. And I'm sure people are going to be asking questions about it tonight at 6. So it's fine. So I'm going to try to get out of here by 3 o'clock today. That's my goal. So when you write what you want to write and how you think and how you feel and all of that, it almost never produces a sale. Okay, so remember, there's 2 ways to show up on social media. One is to just be like generic and floating around and look what I did today and look at what I ate today and which color do you guys think I should paint on my wall, pink or purple? Like, okay, you can do that. Or you can go over here and get some money. So if you want to produce a sale, you have to start showing up and writing in a different way. Okay. So the question when your reader opens your email, or they go on your Substack, or they're watching your video, or they see you on LinkedIn or something, they are not thinking, what does she want to say today? Because you're not on that part yet. When you become that, you will already have some money. We're on the early part of this journey. So they're not waking up saying, what does Tracy V want to talk about today? In the 2 seconds that they have before they decide whether they're going to keep reading, keep watching, or go ahead to something else, they want to know, is this for me? Are they talking about something that I'm currently stuck on? Do they understand this specific problem that I'm dealing with? Do they have a thought in their mind? Can they help me with something that I was already thinking about, talking about, struggling with? When I scroll on your page, it's like, oh my God, I was just talking about this. It's funny that you mentioned that because I was just talking about, are you doing that for your people? If they don't feel that within the first 3 seconds, 3 sentences, whatever, they're probably going to zone out. Or they might be listening in the background, but they're also doing something else and they're not paying attention. They're not locked in. It's not because your writing is bad. It's not because your presentation is bad. None of that. You got to aim your content at them. Okay. You walk into a building, you get on a video, you get on a sales call. It has to be about them, not you. Okay. So we want the version of everything we produce to be about our audience. So specifically tailored to them, calibrated, that they feel like, man, oh my God, I need to save this. I need to keep this. I got to call somebody. I have questions about this. Can I ask? They want to write you back. They want to engage. They need more.
So
yes.
I just want to hop in here because it's crazy that you're talking about this, because I had updated my website, updating everything I've been going through to match my framework and my current view and all of that. So I just received an email from someone I had met at an event. I reached out to her because I wanted to hear more about what she does, and she's an entrepreneur as well. So this is what she said in her email this morning. It was so nice meeting you as well. I took a look at your site, which I didn't even think she would, but you're right, people are checking. And I love your perspective. Websites are supposed to help your business, not create stress, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Really stood out to me. That's exactly how I've been feeling lately with mine. Entrepreneurs for Good sounds like such a meaningful space, and I love the intention behind creating community and connection for entrepreneurs. I'm definitely open to staying in touch and would love to learn more. I'd also love to hear more about what you do and how you support business owners, especially since I've been wanting help improving my website and making sure it's actually working for me. I'm open to connecting. Coffee sounds great, but also a chat is great if it's easier. Mondays are better for me, and all that. So I responded to her, and I'm just like, oh, it's working.
It's working.
Oh, okay. People are checking and seeing, and I'm seeing results, the results that we want. So
yes,
I'm excited.
Yes, I love this. This is what I'm talking about. Now, as you mentioned that, I'm thinking, of all the research that I've done, because every website that I've had, except one, the robust one, I didn't build that one. I had my developers did all that because it had the web app running on it. But every other website, good, bad, and different, I've done it. Like just in life, you know what I mean? I just boop, 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 figured out. Boop, boop, boop. Mm-hmm. I don't know anybody that has ever made me feel like they care about the challenges and struggles of having to maintain a website.
Right. And I think that is just something I'm finding with all the entrepreneurs that I'm talking to. we're dealing with everything ourselves or with our partner if we have one. But like it's all on us. And yesterday I was having a conversation with Erica because we were doing website office hours, and then today, seeing this email from this lady, it's like, okay, this confirmation that I'm doing something that is worth it to people, and that really resonates with people. So that's exciting. Someone really cool. On LinkedIn reached out to me too, and said, and he was like, "You're filling a gap."
Come on, Gap.
When it comes to developers or people being left with their websites and not knowing anything about it or what to do.
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly.
And who do you call? There's no name that comes to mind.
Right.
You're gonna now fill that gap, and the gap, that's where the money resides.
I was like, you're right. I am filling a gap. I didn't think of it like that, but
brilliant.
I'm focusing on this part of it because my experience has been actually building the website and stuff, and and then I do hand it over, but I hand it over with training or so they know what's going on. But I'm finding that no one else does that.
Literally,
which
no
is
one.
Crazy to me.
It's insane. It's insanity. No one. Like what? How, Sway? Literally, everybody has a website, and nobody.
And even if you build it yourself, there's so many challenges. Like just connecting. What were we doing? We were connecting a coupon code to a pop-up for new visitors, and there's all these different logistics, all these different integrations that you have to make sure this connects to this, and this tells the thing to take the 20% off, and this tells the thing to pop up to give your people, and then you got to remember put your email and phone number in your form. So that you can capture that information. So it's just a lot.
It's a lot.
And I'm finding that it's a lot for people. So I just wanted to share
Beautiful.
that.
Yeah. Thank you. She just gave the testimonial. We could hang up for the day. This is where the money resides, in the gap. When you show up differently than everybody else, because you're so intentional in doing what I'm telling you, 99% of people in your industry are not doing this. They're just not. They're going off of, I know my cousin, he got me in there. I've been doing this for 30 years, and they just know a bunch of people who's been 30 years or whatever. But they're not, you can start from day one, do this intentionally, and get the same or better results than somebody who's been grinding for 15 years. Okay, so showing up, speaking about what's in the mind of the person that you are speaking to, that's how you make money. So really, our 100-day challenge is already done, because that's the lesson that you must walk away with. If you don't remember anything else, is that, okay? So you can, you can sell subscriptions if you have newsletters, something like that. But really, it's not even about that. Like the business model part of it, we've put a simple version of that together. But you could sell them anything. You could sell them shoelaces when they feel like they feel seen, heard, understood, cared for, valued. They feel like they could trust you. They're following your thought leadership. It's like, I know other people do websites, but I want to get a website from you. I want to talk to you about it. That's the brand. That's the value. That's the narrative that you've attached to this work that you do. And that's how you get word of mouth, and, you never run out of clients and stuff like that. So whatever you're selling, if you learn how to serve people, you won't have any problem making sales. Okay. So the difference between a piece of content, like the normal way we just show up and talk about what we want to talk about, versus the content that makes people want to move, it is writing with them in mind and not you in mind. Okay. So let's get a very step-by-step way to audit ourselves and make sure we're doing that. Not just philosophically, because I've proven it to you, neuroscience and every other way I could. So let's be very specific. Questions you can ask to try to see make sure every time you do something, you almost have a checklist. Like, yes, this is hitting the mark. Okay. A good quote to maybe help you remember this: the things that you write or create, the videos or whatever, the one that's going to pay you money is not the one that you love to write or create. It's the one that they can't stop reading, watching, or listening to. That's the difference. So we're not following our passion. I had to get on somebody about that. It's not about what you love and how I love to express myself. No. It's the one that they can't put down. They can't stop reading. They can't wait. They're checking for another one. They want to talk to you. They want to meet with you. They want to follow up with you. That's how you know you're getting it right. And if not, it's okay. It's an experiment. Just go back and keep tweaking it until you find something that they'd be like, I need this. Okay? So this shouldn't take us long, y'all. But please go listen to the WhatsApp because it's the end of America. It's fine. We'll be fine. Let me describe your newsletter, your content, most people right now. Latanja, by the way, I saw a question on YouTube and I saw you came over here. You want me to address your question?
Sure. You were talking about the robots and everything, and I was just asking, what about the salary? Obviously, someone is going to receive some gratuities.
Oh yeah, no, they're keeping that. And by them, I mean the billionaires. The ones who own the technology and the data, they'll keep all that profit. That's the plan. It's insane. Like that's what's happening. So yeah, this man literally said the name of the robot, the type of robot is called a Figure 3. The company is called Figure AI. If you haven't seen it, just Google it because it's just an insane visual. Melania Trump is walking. Now she walks and talks like a robot. I have questions now. But anyway, she's walking and then the robot's walking. They got the same walk. And they come walking down the thing in the White House, like, what is going on here? And then the robot is like, thank you for having me. I will lead the children into the future or whatever. Like, no, how about no? And then she's like,
I'm looking at this now. What in the world?
What in the world? And then she's like, yes, we will lead the children. And an entire world's full of knowledge in every robot. And this will be the future of how we educate the babies or whatever. And I'm like, girl, okay. We need to do something different. Y'all, we gotta move different. We gotta go. I can't. This is who's in charge. My point is, the company that made that robot, Figure AI, their CEO said that their plan, and I'm talking about the people who are endorsing this, like all of the president and whoever's in charge here. Every house in America will have one of these within 5 years. That's what the man said. That's their goal. So DoorDashers are now putting the glasses on and they're getting paid a little bit now to train the robots how to wash dishes and do all that stuff. But they just did this 5-7 years ago in Venezuela. Nobody knows the story. I told it on WhatsApp today. When they started printing and the inflation got out of hand and their currency crashed like ours is about to, people couldn't find jobs. The doctors and people, it took a neurosurgeon's entire monthly salary to like buy groceries or something. It was something insane like that. And so doctors and lawyers and everybody just was leaving the country, whatever. People who stayed, there was no work. So they were getting these little gig jobs. And they would get on the computer and a little job would pop up and you got to claim the job before somebody else. And your job is to like train the AI. And so they would do that and get paid a couple of $200 for the day or something like that. And after a while, those jobs got less and less and less because more and more people were losing the other jobs and they were all competing for the same jobs. So now they're getting paid like 25 cents to do this thing and they couldn't find enough jobs. So eventually that crashed and the whole country's destitute. And then next thing you know, we come in and take over the country. It was literally, they just collapsed. Well, this is the same play they're running in America now. So now DoorDash, it was the lady, if Claire was on here, she knows this lady. She was on ABC News, the national one, talking about, because DoorDash has now introduced a new thing where you can put the little glasses on and they'll pay you to train the AI. And I'm like, here we go. So yeah, there will be no salary. They might do a universal basic income or something like that, but that's the digital money that I was talking about that they could program. And then if you don't do everything else that they tell you to do, they will turn your money off. Because there won't be no salaries. Yes, that's what's coming.
They had the computer servers for the software whenever the tech department, nerds that you call upon whenever the computer crashes. Who's going to be there to help when these robots malfunction?
Well, the robots are building and fixing themselves already.
Oh, they are.
They already are. They're literally building themselves in the factory already. Also, the head of CEO of NVIDIA, who makes all the chips that are in all the AI chips, he said that his dream is to have, for every employee that they keep, each one of those employees, he wants them to have 100 AI agents. So there will be a little, it's like Game of Thrones. You have the kings and their family. Then you have the knights who protect them. You have the nobles, the lords and their friends, whoever these people are running around. Mm-hmm. And then you have everybody else. And they're going to be out there struggling, dirt on their face. I don't know, figure it out, begging the king for stuff. Like, it's going to be that. So there will be a little money passed here and there, the ones who keep a job, but the vast majority of the workers who used to support them, they will just be overseeing the AI.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. That's where we're headed.
It's madness.
And they think this is a great idea. So we have to at least have some options. So that's why we're talking about this. So currently, whatever y'all's website, your podcast, your email, whatever content that you're creating, if you're going live and things like that, maybe you have a couple dozen, maybe a couple hundred subscribers or people checking and looking and doing all of that. You might have a few people paying you here and there, stuff like that. You're probably publishing on some kind of schedule, trying to get better about that. You probably are getting better, and the quality of what you're doing is maybe even good. You know your subject, you write with care and thoughtfulness. You try to consider what you're writing, what you're posting. Through this exercise, I know we've gotten better and better at this, right? But when you publish things, it's fine. People are kind of checking forward, looking a little bit here and there. We're starting to get engagement, which is what I wanted you guys to do. I want you to keep going, Micaiah and everybody else, until you get 50 to 75 to 100 people physically reaching out to you and saying, I saw this piece of content, and having some response and reaction to it. That's how we know we're hitting the mark, okay? Before we worry about metrics and trying to scale, okay? So some posts are going to do better than others. You don't necessarily know why. You're going to reply here and there. Exactly what I needed. Da, 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 da. You want to keep looking for those little signals, okay? But before you start worrying about, all the aesthetics of it, this is what I want us to do, is make sure that we are very committed. Because let's say after the 100-day challenge, I'm not going anywhere. I think I'm going to be 2:00 until I'm in another country, and maybe even then, I don't know. But I'll be doing 2:00 a day, at least for some time. So I'll be here every day. But anyway, let's say you kind of drift off and doing something else. You're broadcasting. I don't want you to go back to the default of broadcasting, because you got to remember that your listener, your viewer, your reader, they're searching. So if you start showing up as a mirror instead of a billboard, you'll always be fine. I want you to remember that no matter where you go. Okay. So broadcasting, I have something to say, I'm going to say it, and somebody's going to find it. That's traditional media, billboard, magazine, TV show, newspaper column. You produce it, they receive it. It's directional. So you don't know what the reader's thinking. You don't have any kind of insight into their mind. You're just guessing about your own sense of what's important and interesting. But your listener, reader, viewer, potential new customer is searching. They're seeking for something. They have a specific problem, specific question, specific aspiration. They're scanning. Whether they know it or not, their brain is scanning. This is neuroscience. Their brain is scanning for things that are addressing something that they are concerned about. Something they said they want to do, something they're struggling with, something they're confused about, whatever. Something they like. Okay, so they're not a passive audience. They're like, anytime somebody sees your content, you got to imagine them standing in a store, walking through the aisle. They're looking for something that solves a specific thing that they came in for. Even if they're just browsing, they don't know what they're looking for. But if they don't find something that catches their eye, they're going to leave. Right? So, if you don't already have a big list, you don't already have recognition where people are know you and are checking for you to see what you got going on, you need to put the audience first. And I don't care if you have 10, 20 people in your audience, put your audience first. Let them tell you, ask them, do polls, reach out to them, send DMs, but let your audience tell you exactly what they need, what they're interested in. Okay? Now, you have an asset in your expertise, right? And you really know what you're doing and what you're talking about. You've done this before, you've helped other people, you've got all this knowledge to share. Okay? And that's great. You got a perspective, a worldview. We went through that. So we're not abandoning that, or we're not diluting it. But we're looking for the intersection, or that place of connection where your deep knowledge is meeting their most urgent problem. Okay? And their questions that they have right now. Okay, so they don't always know, they can't always articulate it, but in terms of like the expert, what the real problem is that they need solved, they don't know. That's what you do, but they can tell you what they're stuck on. They can tell you how they feel. So your job is to find what that is and start talking about that, and then lead them down the path of your expertise. Okay, so I got to drill that in because it's so easy for the smarter you are, the harder it is to do this. Okay. It's easy to just kind of drift off into being deep and technical instead of being very disciplined about meeting people where they are. Okay. So, let's see. Here's the problem. Let's say you start doing something consistently showing up. I'm posting, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm outside, social media. But if you don't keep this, what I'm saying today, at top of mind, what happens is you'll start drifting. So between a couple of months of doing it, maybe 6 months in, you're showing up consistently. Even if you can get your audience to grow, which in this day and age is already too much noise out here, you might have trouble really building an audience, not because your content is not good or smart or intelligent. It's just so much noise out here. But even if you build a community of people who are like checking in with you and they like what you got going on, you'll find that you're not selling anything. And we don't have time for that. So showing up week after week after week after week after week after month after month after month, and you're doing good work and you're quality and it's professional and people telling you, I like that, see you next week, but nobody's buying anything, we can't normalize that anymore. Okay? It doesn't matter how many subscribers you have or don't have. It doesn't matter. Big list, small list, it doesn't matter. If nobody's buying anything, we got to drill down. If nobody's asking you for a meeting, asking you for a next step, we got to drill down. Okay. So if you have, let's say you have a newsletter or a Substack or any kind of community, and you have 300 people on that list who are deeply engaged, they feel seen, heard, understood. Every time you say something, they're like, oh my God, I was just talking about that. You know, they feel served. They feel like you're speaking directly to them. That's one newsletter. And another newsletter, they got 3,000 people on their list. But they're kind of vaguely interested. You know, yeah, I like yoga. You know, I'll check it out from time to time. You know what I'm saying? But they're just kind of floating around or whatever. The one with 300 people on the list is going to make more money than the one with 3,000 people on the list. Every time. Okay? So conversion is not a function of quantity. It is a function of fit. It's a game of concentration. We don't need thousands of people. That is not what we're doing. Please remember this. Hear my voice. Somebody just jumped in the dollhouse yesterday. She's talking about, I hear your voice. I'm like, how you hear my voice? You just got here now. I heard your voice in my head. Okay. So your job is to build something that makes whoever sees it, listens to it, watches it, feel like you're talking directly to them. If they find it interesting, but not essential, they probably won't buy anything. So the focus right now is not to get more viewers, more followers, more subscribers. No. The focus right now is to become essential to them. And to do that, we need to get more specific, more accurate, more urgently useful to the exact person that we're here to serve. Okay? It's a big mindset shift, but it's all been building up to this. I need you to live here. You need to embody this energy going forward. Don't have nobody in your ear talking about, well, you only got 27 people on your thing. We're not on that part. I need to know if these 27 people are here for this, hanging on your every word. Can't wait to see the next post. You really are taking me where I need to be. I need to talk to you. That's what we're aiming for. And until we get that, we're not worried about getting more people on the list. Okay. It's a content issue, not a growth issue. I could tell you how to scale and get more numbers, but we're not on that part yet. Okay. So we don't want to be interesting. We want to be essential. Essential. This is a tool that I need to make sure that I can take care of my family. And the economy is going crazy. Y'all haven't heard the WhatsApp yet? It's people who were making mid six figures as an executive who've been laid off in my neighborhood, which is the Switzerland of Atlanta, driving Uber. White man. He's driving Uber right now. Now, they're still all right. They still got some savings, His wife is doing whatever she still does. And he's working on some projects at the house. But he drives Uber now. There are families that need to figure out, how am I going to put clothes on all these babies' backs and do what I need to do? Groceries done tripled in price, or they're about to. What are we doing? You need to become essential. You need to be speaking directly to them every time you show up, so they know that you exist. You become their secret weapon. We can't afford to hire anybody. I mean, oh my God, have you seen what's going on in the economy? I can barely pay my salary. We definitely can't hire a developer. Like, what are we going to do? You become essential.
Into my website office hours. I'll help you.
You see what I'm saying? There you go. There you go. We have to be that. And so all of our content leads to that. So we don't want somebody appreciating us. We want somebody to upgrade. We want somebody to reach out. We want somebody to get on the calendar, booking the call. So if they're appreciating you and they're clapping for you, that is not the same as feeling like you're essential and I need to take a step with you. Can I talk to you? Can I get on your calendar? Hey. So keep working, keep tweaking your content until it makes people do that. How do I sign up? What do we, can I get started? Do you have any more room for more clients? Hold on. When can we talk? If you're getting that response, that's a good thing. If you're not, let's keep tweaking. Okay. So now we want to take them, once they kind of want to raise their hand and come into the world, we want to be, free subscriber, get on your email list for free or whatever. Then we got to take them on this trust journey to become a whole paying client. Okay. And that's by proving step by step. And that's why we take the baby steps that we talked about yesterday, baby step by baby step. So they don't get overwhelmed anywhere in the process. Prove that you understand, that you see them, that you see the specific shape of their problem, that you've been paying attention. You're not just talking at them. So they feel seen right there. Okay. So have you ever asked your readers or your potential viewers or listeners or whoever what they need and what they want to hear you talk about? Or have you been guessing this entire time? No, it's a real question.
I wouldn't say I've been guessing. I've been using the conversations that I've been having with people about these problems, and also using Reddit a lot.
That's really good.
People are always posting their
complaints.
Problems.
I know.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So those are my two sources.
Very good. Somebody else, have you been guessing what you think you should post, or have you asked somebody?
I've asked, and they need to know about balancing self-care along with family and work.
And you started doing a lot more of that, right? Since then. I'm asking, since they told you that.
Yes.
Awesome. Tracy, go for it.
You better ask somebody.
Uh-huh.
I'm excited because I just came out from outside. So I don't always ask, yet there are times where somebody looks like they're not just talking, like they're really wanting to move forward, not just saying, yeah, yoga is cute. Oh my goodness, you stretch. They're like really saying, okay, I need a way in, but this is the problem. And I just left the school I was at. I already got 2 new clients. The principal already sent out messages to other schools. The other school just called me and said, we need you in for a teacher appreciation. Like it's going bananas.
Excellent.
But it was excellent. And the first Black teacher, first Black principal, it was crazy. Anyways, but one thing, she was like looking like, yeah, I like yoga, but it's like, I can't really sit down and be still and stuff like that. And I said, so you're saying you want a harder yoga? And this is what I've been trying to teach for so long, because a lot of people think I'm too rough with yoga. And I'm like, I think rough yoga is important for you to sit down. That's the only way you sit down is after you've tired your mind out. So I was like, how about if I did a yoga boot camp? Would that make you interested? She's like, yeah, I would love that. And I said, we'll be doing that 4 days a week, 4:15. She already gave me the time. She's like, for these teachers, it would work at 4. But then for the middle school where my husband's a principal at, it would work at 4:15. I was like, we'll put it all at 4:15. So It's crazy. They're setting the tone for something that I could not self-regulate to do, that I have the time to do, but I could not sit down and figure out what is the exact.
It's good. So they're telling you what they want.
Yes.
I'm saying also, are they telling you, or are we able to find out what they would want to see if it was content? Let's say, because you can't physically walk into 100 more schools, right?
No.
So we got to create some type of digitized version of this. So what would they want to see in content form that would bring them to the point where they want to work with you?
I think they did, because once again, I was talking to her because she came in, didn't realize she was the principal, but they kept saying I needed to meet her. But then talking to her, then I was realized, okay, there's other teachers in the teacher lounge. So I started talking a little louder about yoga stuff. And then eventually I said something about hot flashes. Once again, I was like, she has to cure the hot flash. She's like, we need to bring in, what's her name? She got a hot flash every 30 minutes. We need to bring her in. They brought her in. And then I was like, Tracy, you're sitting here trying to work on book A when you really need to work on this hot flash book. Because that's the thing that people are like, how the hell have you cured hot flashes? Like, please talk to me for real about that. So now I'm going to pivot between the book I was going to write. Now I'm going to write the book that I need to, like, that was already going to be on the plan. But now I'm like, it does not need to be second or third. It needs to be like right now. So I'm excited about that because I hear a lot of movement when I talk about hot flashes.
Great. So what I want you to do, you have homework. Don't play with me. Next Thursday this time, or by next Thursday night, 6 o'clock, I need an outline of this book. And that's going to become what your content strategy is built around.
Okay. And I shot a live this morning, and I didn't have time to send it to you, but it was inspired about a lot of things you did. And it got me thinking that, one, that might be the best time for me to shoot lives. Like that's the second time I shot a live before I left the house. And that's not normal, but I'm like, Tracy, it was 15 minutes. It was strong. You were inspired. And this is the time. It's almost guaranteed that you can get it done. So now I might be able to put my lives on a schedule where they were not to say I can't have the spontaneous one throughout the day, but one that I know that's going to happen. Yeah. I can do that in the mornings now.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that feels super good.
Awesome. Anybody else?
Yes. What I was going to say is that in these vending events that I've been going to, and I've been to about 4 in the last 6 weeks, I definitely heard a lot more of people wanted to consign versus to buy, particularly like older people. They can say, I'm trying to downsize. And so from a content perspective, I didn't look at it that way. So I'm glad you brought that up. But I did look at it as if I should be offering something in addition to.
Yeah.
So I did take that feedback. And then I would just say from this discussion, as I create my format for my newsletter, because I haven't created one yet, but I'm working on it. I could have a suggestion corner to say, what would you like to see as part of that newsletter, and get them to respond.
Yeah, I love that. And it could be, do people know how to consign, or they hadn't thought about it? They're just like, I need to get rid of my stuff, and that's all they say. Like, where are they?
I think it's more so of, I don't want to give my stuff away, so I just don't want to give it to Goodwill or Salvation Army. So they just don't want to give it away because they think it's definitely worth something. And so then they always ask me, do you consign? And then that's what I am working toward, of creating a format where people can come in to consign.
Okay, I like that. And then you can just do content around that, because I keep saying video for you for whatever reason. But you could literally just be like showing the process of, okay, I went over here, I got this client, she gave me all these pieces, you pick them up, see you later, you take them to your home, and you go through your process of how you and then turn around and prepare it for whatever you do with it, or how you help another family or something. You could just show that whole process so people can see that you do both.
Yes.
I think that would be dope. But that's great feedback. And yeah, definitely ask people. Everybody can ask these questions, either in person when you're talking, and at the bottom of your email, bottom of your LinkedIn post, stuff like that. What are you struggling with right now? What question do you most need answered? What is keeping you up at night? You're going to hear me doing it, and I do it all the time, but I'm going to intentionally do it for 100 days straight. That's my next 100-day challenge. I'm going to get a random stranger, either online or on the street somewhere. You're an entrepreneur? Okay. What you struggling with? And just let them talk. What are these questions? What do you really need answers? What are you concerned about? What do you don't even, sometimes they don't even know what they don't know, but we should be intentionally asking people, okay? All the time, just all the time. So keep that in a loop in your head and your business as you go. Think about content. What are people asking about? Okay. So remember that they're more than just your audience. They are actually your research department. Everybody that you talk to, everybody on your email list, everybody who's following you, all of that. And they're all available right now in your subscriber list, people you've met over the past couple of years, all that stuff. Every time you run a poll, ask them to reply to something. Ask them a direct question. It's basically like a free consulting session or like a free focus group. And let them tell you what they want to see, what they want to know, what they want to see more of, what they want you to build, what price point feels good for them, what kind of support they're willing to pay for, what they need, like Tracy said. And they keep telling you this what they want. They want consignment. Let's talk about consignment. They want to talk about hot flashes. Okay, we're going to talk about hot flashes. Let's do that. Because we have to get the momentum, the flywheel, right? So you build momentum based on the people that you currently have proximity to. It's not to say that as your business grows or as you expand, you won't be able to do some of the other things, but we want to get momentum going based on where we are energetically right now. Whoever is coming into our field right now, we want to build momentum with them right now, okay? And whatever they are telling you, and you start reflecting that back to them and what you're offering and what you're discussing and what your content is about, they will respond to it, engage with it, and buy it because they recognize themselves in it. Go for it, Tracy.
So quick question. Well, two. One is, talking to 50 people, I'm realizing from today what I just did at the school is also warm leads. It's not always me walking into an apartment. Like when I came into that school, there was really no one in the faculty lounge. So I was like, okay, Tracy, sit down and just breathe and sense the room. I said, you need to figure out how you're going to set this up. And I took a moment, I got a visual, and then I started setting up. And then every time someone came in, I told them what I was there for. And eventually it started to move. But everybody was like feeling the energy of doing something. So I realized I don't have to always have cold leads like I think I'm doing, just out and talking to randoms, which works too. But this is another feeling that I got today. Second is a question about the school that just called me about the Teacher Appreciation Week. I'm wanting to ask you, should I do this myself, which I'm more than capable and willing to do, or should I bring other wellness practitioners? Because I said, I said, what are you looking to do? They said, we're just now planning it. It's happening in May. We're just now planning it. So they want to know what I offer and the price and stuff like that. So I wanted to know, should I bring in other friends of mine that are close to me that also are in the wellness space as,
I have to ask you
reflexologists.
more questions to answer that. So let's do a session.
Okay. All right.
Let us strategize.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this. Yes, it could become warm very quickly. It doesn't have to be every time you talk to people is starting from cold, right? It should be kind of the warm. You started something and now they referred you to somebody and now you're familiar with somebody that they know, and you're in a familiar location or whatever that is. Absolutely. Okay, so here we go. We got tools that we're going to use to help refine how we're showing up for people. Go for it, Alfredo.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a pro, but I wanted to ask Tracy, how did she get into the school? Because my clientele, it would be school, parents of the children. So when you said you were in the, I guess the weight room or the lounge, yeah.
I was in the teacher lounge, yeah.
Yeah. So
and tomorrow I'm going to be at that same school with the students. I'm going to be, that's what I did. I just followed Joe's advice. It was a day that I didn't want to go out, a day I really didn't have time, but I was trying to get it done. And I just said, yesterday you turn right to go to go meet people. I said, today, let's turn left. And then the first thing I ran into was a school, and I didn't want to, but then Dahl was like, schools are good for me. So I just walked in and I did the 5-card pitch, and they took me to the back. They told me who I should speak to. They called the person to the front, and then that person took me to a boardroom. And right then and then we had a meeting. And then a couple of days later, like a week later, I had another intuitive hunch. I said, go back to the school, just check in on them. Even though I had her number and her email, but I never contacted her. I just decided, intuition said go. And I said, okay, I'll go back. And then she received me once again in another beautiful space. And then that's when she said, yeah, we want this. And then that serendipitous moment of seeing someone in the school that knew me, like, yeah, I know, like, it was like another faculty member that knew me from, I used to be her personal trainer. So it was that kind of thing. So it was just walking in. There was no appointment. It was just one of the 50 people I'm supposed to speak to.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Beautiful. Y'all, we can do this. Latrice also, Freda, if you ever talk to her, she works with schools all the time. And I'm sure she can give you some insight as to how she got in there. But if you know any teacher, any principal, anybody who's married to a teacher or a principal or superintendent or somebody who works for, just call them and do the 5-star pitch, tell them what you're doing, tell them why you think it's going to be a good fit for the school, and ask for an introduction. What's the best time of day to drop by, that kind of thing. They'll get you in there. Absolutely. Okay, so here we go. 4 tools, and we should be done. Let's send an email. If you have a list, free subscribers paid, if you have an email list, send an email and ask a question. Not a post, not a piece of content, not a quick update with 7 links in it. Just ask a question. Subject line. I have a question for you. I've been thinking a lot about what makes this group, email, newsletter, podcast, whatever it is you're building, actually useful to you. Not just good, but genuinely useful to you. Essential for you and your work and your life right now. So I want to ask you directly, what are you stuck on right now? What question have you been sitting on that you haven't really found a good answer to? Please hit reply and let me know.
Question.
Hit reply, let me know. I'm going to respond to everybody personally. Let me know. And whatever you share is going to help me, do the thing. And sign your name and send the email. Now, if you have a Facebook group, you can drop it in there, whatever. Do that. That's it. I just really want to know what y'all on, what y'all thinking. What do you want to know? So I'm doing mine now. What are you most stuck on right now? What question have you been sitting on that you haven't found a real answer to? I'm going to do it tonight at 6:00. But like literally, just ask your group that. Okay, that's it. Send an email. So some people are going to reply, not everyone, but the people that do, they're engaged. Beautiful. That's also going to tell you what percentage of your list is engaged with you. All right. So specific, personal, honest people who actually have some kind of rapport with you, you're going to be able to kind of get some feedback of what they got going on. Somebody will have to grab the transcript or something. I will try to put it in the resource guide and I'll read it one more time. I've been thinking a lot about what would make this newsletter podcast, whatever you're building, actually useful to you. Not just good, but genuinely useful in your work, your life right now. So I want to ask you directly, what are you most stuck on right now? What question have you been sitting with that you haven't found a real answer to yet?
And also, you're saying, well, if you ask it that way, it's intuitive that the question is based on what I'm offering. Mm-hmm. And so you don't have to call that out.
Yeah. So you're saying, I've been thinking, because they're already on a list or they're already in the group, wherever they're getting this from. Yep. So I've been thinking a lot about what would make this fill in the blank actually useful, not just good, not just cool, not just because you know me and, but genuinely useful to you. Yep. Okay. So I want to ask you, what are you most stuck on right now? What question have you been sitting on that you haven't found a real answer to yet? Yep. And then tell them, hit reply, let me know. I'm gonna read everyone personally. You could do this in LinkedIn. If you have people that are you have some kind of rapport with, you can send them a DM. But okay, so that's one way. That's one tool you can use. Somebody's gonna reply, people gonna reply, you get some answers back. Now we're gonna look for the exact language, exact problems, exact struggles that, now these become new subject lines. These become the next question, the next headline, the next subject of your next post, okay? We wanna know exactly. So I would do this like at least probably once every 6 weeks or so. Maybe once a quarter, because your audience is going to be totally different. So check in and make sure you stay calibrated. Second thing you can do. Now we're going to audit some of our data. Hopefully you're starting to post consistently. You should be posting every day pretty much right now, or getting to that point. Documenting all your conversations that you're having with people and stuff like that. So I want you to go back and look at, let's say, your 20 or 30 last posts and or conversations if you're not quite posting. But it really works with posts. You want to see which one got the most shares, engagement, comments, compliments. Maybe they didn't say anything on the post, but then when they saw you in the street, they were like, oh yeah, this, and this. And let's just find out which types of posts are generating the most like replies, like when somebody's writing something back to you. Which posts generate the most, whatever call to action, taking another step based on the post, whether that was upgrading, purchasing something, getting on a call with you, sending you, a direct message or whatever. Which post did somebody forward to somebody else or reference or save or whatever? Which posts did you notice that they were solving a very specific problem, not just exploring an interesting idea? So I found that both tend to work in my work. So what I mean by that is, even when I'm exploring an interesting idea, I'm so specific in the idea and it's so different from what anybody else is talking about that I get an equally high response to that as when I'm telling you, okay, here are the 4 things you need to do to, solve this specific problem. So that's not that it can't work that way, but you have to be very, very specific and intentional, and like they're not getting this anywhere else with your posts or your newsletter, whatever it is. Okay. So look for the ones that are scoring higher on some of these types of questions. This is giving you a signal that's showing you what your audience is actually showing up for. So the subject matter, the format, how specific you were, the kind of problem you were talking about, and let that inform your content strategy. Not necessarily the one you planned or the one your GPT told you to do. But after you've been doing this 2-3 weeks, go back and look again. And this is what everybody who I know personally that's making 6 figures or more on, leveraging social media as a big part of their engine. They literally go back and do this every, let's say 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how long it takes you to get to 20 or 30 posts. But you're not just posting, go. Do. I showed up. It's like, no. What's working? Or if nothing's working, let's tweak. We should be getting 1% better every day. So find something else to tweak. And that's why I keep giving you different ways to think about the nuance of how you're showing up. Can you fix your hook? Can you talk to something more specific? Maybe you're being too generic. Connect something that they didn't know was connected, but you put the dots together for them, whatever that is. Okay, so you should know what's performing well with your audience, the types of topics, based on how they respond is what I'm saying, though, how they engage and how they convert and take an action with you. That's what you want to track. Okay, third thing you can look for. Maybe at the end of what you're posting, if it's a newsletter or if in the end or the middle of your email, you want to have make use of a poll from time to time. You can do this on Substack really easily. Most newsletters, you can do it. I used to do them in our WhatsApp group. I'm gonna start back doing it. But ask one question and have 3 to 4 options, something that takes them less than 10 seconds to answer. So the question, maybe it's at the end of the thing. It could be about the topic you just covered in the content, or it can be about what do you need next, what challenges are you currently dealing with, or it could be something about like I'm thinking about these 3 or 4 things to cover next. What would you like me to cover next? Like if I did a poll right now in the WhatsApp group, it would probably be split. Half the people would say do more like this kind of content where I'm telling you what to post. And then some people would say, talk about the end of the world and what I need to do with my 401k. It'll probably be split. But you know what I'm saying? You can ask them what they want to see. You can ask them what resonated with them. You can ask them, which challenges they're dealing with, but, use a poll. So now what you're doing is you're making them an active participant. You're making it feel more like a community. They're not just a passive recipient of whatever you send them. It's with you as a part of your community. Okay, so they're telling you something about themselves, and that information is an active participation. That's a moment of connection. And we know that connection is the birthplace of all currency. So the more you can deepen that feeling of investment in what you're building, the closer you get them to, feeling like they're a part of something. And that's what people want to pay for. They want to tell somebody else about, they want to show up for, and all that kind of stuff. So I would say maybe once a week, you can run a poll. You can keep it short, put it at the end of an email, the end of a post, something like that. But actually take the results seriously. You could tell your readers, I asked the poll and I asked, and 6-7% of people said they wanted this. So now I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? So you can do this even on a list, like I'm saying, even on an email list, to make people feel like they're part of a community, like their voice actually matters in what you're building. Okay. That's how we got to social media mastery. And that's how I did the Great Escape, because this is what everybody was asking me. These are the questions people were asking me. Now I'm about to do a whole relationship platform because people keep asking me. Okay. So that's another tool you can use, polls. The last one. Maybe like once a month or something like that. It's similar to the second one. You want to look for patterns. The ones that are spiking, the ones that you said, okay, this is getting a good response. This is getting, good feedback. This is getting good engagement. What do they have in common? What is the single most common, most specifically described problem that keeps appearing in different forms across all these different ways that I've tried to get this data? You should start to see categories of problems that are similar, patterns. Once you see what that is, now, boom, you should have a product on that. Boom, that's your book on hot flashes. They keep asking about that. Boom, that's your next series, or that's your next coaching offer. Things that they keep describing the same thing in different language because they haven't found it yet. You don't have a version of it that they can buy yet. So let's make it. They're telling you that they need it. Not that it's interesting. They keep asking you for the same thing, basically. So if you zoom out after 30 days of this, you'll see that. So make sure you have a way for people to tell you what they're thinking, because they're enjoying what you got. It's not that. So they might not be like, hey, can you do this? So ask them. I really want to make this something that's really meaningful to you and useful to you, not just nice to have, but essential to you. What are you thinking about? What are you stuck on? What are you struggling with? What do you want to see? Do that in a direct email. Do that in direct conversations, one-to-one. Do that with polls, and then go back and look at the data. Okay, any questions? Remember, we got our free stuff. We got our offer ladder. So we got something free where we can just bring people in so they're more engaged than just a random stranger. You should be getting their emails. Where are all the emails from all these teachers that we're meeting, Tracy? We need an email. We need a home. We need a place for them to be hearing from you. The free exchange. Let me go to get you on my email list, and that'll get you something that they can get from you. You need to be getting their email list. Their emails. I'm sorry. We have our, if it's a newsletter, you can have a paid version of it if you want to. Maybe that's the recipe club. Maybe that's, you upgrade on your Substack. Maybe, you don't have to, but you can. And then you need that digital product, that $27 book or the $47 thing or something, 97, something that's easy for somebody to just click and buy. Okay, simple for them to click, buy, get it digitally, bam. So maybe you have a whole guide. I heard people were doing pantry makeovers. I was like, what? I need a pantry makeover. What is that? Plant-based pantry makeovers. Let them buy that from you. Or maybe that's the free thing. But have different ways for people to go ahead and engage with you. That's what you want to do. And then, your higher ticket offer, the thing that takes more, commitment from you, or your ongoing, your main membership package or whatever. And put it all together and turn it into an engine, y'all. But the more specificity you have on the front end, the easier it's going to be to convert people on the back end. And we don't have to struggle with this. It doesn't have to be a struggle. And if you walk people through, give them exactly what they want, make them feel seen all the way along the journey, you won't have to get to the end and you want to charge them $2,000 for something. And you're like, well, just trust me. I can do it. They already trust you. The question will be, okay, how can we work together? Can we start now? Can we start now, or do you have to wait till April? Next week. I got you next week. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's a different type of conversation when you build the trust. So by doing the content that you're doing on social and your free engagement, get their email and bring them closer to you, you're building trust at scale. The content engine that we went over the last 2 days builds trust at scale. And you can invite them to take another step with you. The entry-level product is easy for them to purchase and start to monetize the relationship. And then your bigger price points or your longer-term packages, that's when they're ready for a whole transformation and not just the information and the how-to. So their engagement goes up as they go up the ladder. Okay. But it's all made possible. Like, again, you don't try to go out here and sell a $10,000 package and you haven't built the small trust on the front end, because you're going to get frustrated. And that's hustle energy. That's masculine energy. That's why the world is unbalanced. I'm not saying gender. I'm saying divine feminine, divine masculine. Masculine is hustle, hustle, hustle. Go, go, go. Grind, grind, grind. Numbers, numbers. It's a numbers game. Just keep going. Talk to random. You want to buy something? Want to buy something? No. We need some balance. How about we hold space? How about we meet people where they are? How about we get present in the moment? How about we listen? Reflect back to them what they're saying to us. We need some of that energy to balance this thing out. So you can have the structure, you can have the go, go, go and get 10 calls a day and do all of that, but do it with this level of intentionality and you'll never have to struggle. And the quicker you guys turn this information, this knowledge, and start applying it, applied knowledge is wisdom. And without fail, where wisdom resides, money resides. If you read the Bible, it says it in the Bible. That's where riches are. It says it's with wisdom. So the sooner you can find your way to applying what we're talking about here, the easier it's going to be. I don't want this to be a mental exercise for you. I need this to be something that you are experiencing. Okay? All right. Any questions? Tracy done got kicked off the Zoom and now she's sending me texts, but I don't see anything. So I don't know what to do with that. Any questions, comments, challenges, perspective, feedback, personal story time before we go? It's a beautiful day. I'll be back at 6. I'm not going anywhere. I just have to sit in my chair. Basically, people bring me food and snacks at this point. My love he's like, here, thank you. That was some good tea. Moonlight tea. You'll never guess what that's made of. When you taste it, you still won't know. It's really, really good. Okay. If all hearts and minds are clear, y'all, we can go because I got to be back at 6. I believe in y'all. I can't wait. I love these stories. Every day you're like, doll, I did what you said and it's working. Yes. That's why we do this. That's what I'm talking about. So tonight, I'm sure people are going to have questions. If you haven't listened to the WhatsApp, go listen to the WhatsApp because it's, oh God. But what do you want me to do? Not tell you the truth? This is what's happening out here. So go listen to the WhatsApp. I'll see you at 6 and you know how to ping me, you know how to find me. Until the next one, we got to go. I got to go. We out. Pew!